Hello, everyone. You have entered the battle phase. It is I, the Midnight Bard, your favorite bard, and I'm back. Back again. Bard is back. Tell a friend. Joining me as always is the boys. Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the... This is terrible.
I don't even know what you're referencing. I'm going to be honest. You lost me on this one.
Eminem.
Yeah, it's Eminem.
I never listened to Eminem.
You never listened to Eminem?
I was exposed to Slim Shady at a young age, and I absolutely hated it.
Okay, so let me think.
Like
we're
4.
talking about tournament arcs today. So let me see. It's tournament arc reference here. So joining me as always is the boys. He has been preparing for this for years in very rigorous training. Sacrow.
I have been lifting weights and squatting every day since, what year is it?
Yes.
Yes.
And he, sorry, I choked there for a second.
Choke.
And he has been training under the hyperbolic time chamber with max gravity. Gamma.
There you go. That's why he choked right there.
Wait, does the hyperbolic time chamber have gravity?
It does now.
Okay. We should know.
So, see, I'm a little underprepared for like this.
Yeah, the hyperbolic time chamber doesn't have gravity, but it does have the seasons of the year just going through streams, though.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has been training for many seasons under a cascading waterfall. Gamma.
Yeah, there you go. I know my Buddhist mantra, and we're good to go.
We should keep all the mess ups in.
Yeah, we're gonna keep all the mess ups in.
Yeah, keep all those in. That's way more fun.
Yeah, now it's just a... Anyway, welcome to the Battle Phase Podcast, the podcast where we discuss anime and manga, and we're fresh off of our trip to Sacramento where we were live before an audience, and as you can see, I'm still on vacation mode. So if you want to get in contact with us, tell us what you're reading, what you're watching, what you would like for us to read and watch along with you. Reach out to us on our socials. We are at the Battle Phase on Instagram, X, and Threads. And also, you can stop by our YouTube and leave us a comment. Tell us how much you love Bard specifically. And the other guys are cool too, I guess.
Cool too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Gamma's been carrying this show.
Yes, indeed. But what was I gonna say is so today we're discussing tournament arcs, and we have a couple of episodes in the works now where our live audience kind of gave us some recommendations, and we're gonna try to get into some of those. So we're talking Akidama Drive, Psychopaths, and the Seventh Time Loop. Along with the stuff that's been previously recommended, this month we're going to try to finally get around to Miyaroko-chan, which was the first recommendation we ever got. And I have been feeling so guilty that we've never touched it. So, yeah. Anyway, so welcome back to the podcast, guys. It's good to be back in the recording studio with y'all. And I figured we'd get started with something really simple. We're going to discuss tournament arcs. It's one of the staples of action shonen anime. And personally, I have lived through some banger tournament arcs, and I'm interested to hear what you guys' favorite are. But I figured that we'd start with kind of like setting the tone. I wanted to get you guys' opinions on what makes a good tournament arc. For me personally, I love it when there's stakes beyond pride and glory. A lot of tournament arcs kind of have that going on with them, that it's typically like we're here to kind of make a name for ourselves or to show the world what we can do. But some of my favorites kind of have like world stakes attached to them. Or some personal stakes, whenever they're not so grandiose. Some things like I can't afford to lose because if I do, then my town can't get water. Or so on and so forth. It's something really, really interesting to see to me. And we've talked before about how in anime there's that trope of you get to know an opponent better by fighting them. And I really do love a tournament arc that has that as a theme too, right? Like two characters that up until this moment haven't understood each other whatsoever. but the moment that they start throwing hands, suddenly they come to a better understanding of each other as warriors and people. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that.
So I'm more of a fan of the build up to the tournament arc. I love a training
Mm-hmm.
arc. I like where they train, they get better, they learn new moves, they like analyze their opponents before they fight them, and then when they get to the actual tournament, we get to see like what they've learned. My least favorite part is the sideliners of every anime tournament arc
Mm-hmm.
who sit there and be like,
Yeah.
"Wow, you guys see that cool thing he just did? I can't believe he's this strong now. That's insane, crazy." Like I just don't like that part.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing in every one of them,
There-
right? It's like, oh no, however will he surpass this?
Have you-
We've never been against an enemy this strong.
Have you guys seen Mashal like at all? Like all the
Yeah.
way through, I should say, season 2.
I have to, yeah.
Okay, so season 2, there's always the one person who's like, they're like, "Whoa, how did that happen?" And then somebody's like, "I saw everything," and it breaks them down every single time. It's a different person saying this line. And then it's something stupid like he threw his broom, ran to it so fast and caught it, and then jumped on it like he was on it the whole time. Or like
Yeah.
he flicked a button off of the puppet into his mouth, spat it out, clicked the other one, jumped to the air, caught it, moved back at the same so fast you couldn't tell. It's like, okay, I love this.
Yeah, it is pretty great. It adds a little bit of humor to the typical, like, tense nature of it, right?
Mhm.
Where whenever somebody does something and they move so fast, there will always be a guy who's like super shocked, but like very seriously, like just as serious as a house fire. It's just like, yes, this is beyond anything that anyone could have accomplished. I could barely see what they were doing, moving so fast, and just basically like gassing them up, right? And in Mashal, it's played to great effect for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a perfect deconstruction of a tired trope, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Tournament arcs are fine
Mhm.
overall.
How about you, Gamma? What do you think?
Well, I like those tropes, but also at the same time, I like tournaments that are realistic. Like, for example,
Okay.
like, if y'all seen the movie Bloodsport
I have Jean-Claude Van Damme, very good.
and Bolo Young, yeah, those kind of
Yeah.
tournaments where they're realistic, but it's not beyond the limit of unrealistic. It's something that their human capability can still reach it.
For sure. Yeah. If I train hard enough, I could do the splits like Van Damme, 100%. I'm positive of
Hey,
it.
just get yourself two
I'm not
palm
gonna
trees
try.
and tell somebody to
Oh
rip
no!
up
Just keep practicing.
I
You'll be there.
remember that scene. I was like, oh no, that looked painful. I first saw that movie when I was a kid, and I was like, I could do that, and I tried it. I was like, I can't do that. So yeah, just imagine, like immediately like monkey see, monkey do. Let me try, and instant regret. You know what I mean?
I've never been flexible, so I wouldn't even consider trying it.
I'm pretty flexible. If people tell me that they can't exactly make a certain time, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I got nothing else going on. I'll just hang out until you're ready.
Okay. That's true enough,
All right.
I guess.
So I kind of figured that we'd start the discussion by, like kind of tossing out some of our favorite tournament arcs from our favorite anime, and just kind of like see what comes up. I'm gonna start with a little bit of a controversial one, because like I was talking about this with my normie friend, and he kind of asked, like, where do you draw the line on the tournament? Because when you really think about it, the entirety of that anime is just one tournament arc after another, and he's right. So Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh my goodness.
is exactly that, because first we have like the Duelist Kingdom, which is a giant tournament arc, followed by Battle City, which is the one that I love, and I'm like, that's also one season worth of a tournament arc. And we kind of keep doing the same thing until Waking the Dragons, which is a completely different thing, So yeah, I think the Battle City one kind of like encompasses everything that I love about this. Is firstly, there's world-ending stakes going on, because like a guy who has like all 3 Egyptian god cards. Well, no, Merrick didn't have all 3
No,
Egyptian
he
god
only
cards.
had
Yugi had
the
one.
Egyptian god.
Yeah.
He had
He
2
only had
actually,
Ra.
because he had Ra, but one of his flunkies had Slifer. Yugi had to win Slifer off of him. But Kaiba had Obelisk. So, this guy has the power of the Egyptian gods. And the game, at this point, we've come to know is not exactly like just a card game. It's actual magic being revived in the modern world. And this has very real implications to what could happen if a bad guy got his hands on everything. The bad guy personally, his stakes in this is that he's trying to break free from a lineage duty that he never wanted. He never wanted to be a guardian of the pharaoh, like waiting for his return. That's not something that any child that is born into it ever chooses for themselves. It's thrust upon them. And it's in his disdain for that particular duty is so big that, it causes like the darkness in him to kind of take control and turn him into this other kind of monster, while his true nature is kind of trapped beneath the monster's influence. So we have that for the bad guy, who all he really wanted was his freedom, and now he's at the behest of this spirit, basically this dark spirit of I don't know, aggression, of vengeance, of just spite, so to speak. It's a real dark thing. And and Yugi has to stop him because it's technically something that's happening only because of him. And Kaiba gets involved in all this. It's a great tournament arc. It's arguably like the weirdest one I've ever seen, because it's around card games, which was the first time that I'd ever seen anything like this. My previous experience with tournament arcs being like Dragon Ball Z, so
Yes.
it's like we're not throwing punches, we're playing card games, and it's so weird and so fun. There's mind control, there's magic, there's cheaters. It is just so bombastically over the top, and it's everything that I think good Yu-Gi-Oh is. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. What do you guys think?
I remember watching the Battle City stuff as a kid, and that's about when I stopped watching Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So only because my mom was super religious, and she's like, they're playing with God cards now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Mom, it's just a TV show. As she pulls up her smut book from the corner of her table.
Yes.
So I wasn't allowed to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Right when the Battle City stuff started, which was crazy because I thought it was cool then. But so the last thing I watched actually in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is where they played that dice game.
Oh yes, Dungeon Dice Monsters,
which I thought was
thing
I thought it was way cooler than Yu-Gi-Oh! Overall. I was like, this is a really cool idea. Someone should do something with this. And then no.
Oh, they tried several times.
I'm
they
sure
tried.
They have. Yeah.
I mean, this is the game that just refuses to get made. I mean, like every time Konami tries, it just bombs. Like nobody wants it, which is so weird because like there's a lot of outcry from the fans where they're like, "We would play this," and I was like, "Would you?" They've tried launching it several times. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I think it has pretty much everything that I would enjoy in a tournament arc.
Yeah. I mean, the stakes are there. Yeah. Even though most people don't know what the stakes are. Most people are just, they're just there to compete.
A lot of onlookers have no idea what the heck they've wandered into, which honestly, I think is kind of a fun thing in like these type of scenarios whenever like the normies only see one half of what's really going on. You know what I mean? I can't think of other examples, but like I would say probably like the one thing that kind of comes to mind is Doctor Strange. Whenever they enter into like their astral forms, they could be fighting, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And normal people would be none the wiser that there's supernatural things going on around them. Digimon has this happen a lot where like, Digimon exist in the digital world, and sometimes the digital world kind of crosses over to our world. But to a normal person, half the time it's just like, oh, weird, technology's acting kind of messed up. I don't know why.
Or buildings are just imaginarily falling down on its own,
Yeah, Digimon has some of the most interesting consequences to a world because of another world, you know what I mean?
Or the fact that Digimons are just creepypastas to some people.
They just don't exist.
No, you're talking about Ghost Game?
Yeah.
I didn't watch anything past the fourth, sorry.
It doesn't have an English dub. It's all subbed, but if you get a chance to see Ghost Game, I would give it a shot because Gamma pretty much explained it. Digimon exist, but to a lot of people, since they don't know what they're looking at, they kind of exist as these urban legends or creepypastas
Hmm.
until they manifest in the real world. Then it becomes apparent, like, oh, this isn't like just a ghost or something. This is a Digimon. It's excellent.
Okay, I'll have to give it a shot. I mean, I like ghost type stuff. Speaking of Digimon, though, nah, never mind. That's unrelated.
No. I
What?
want to hear it. If
No,
it's
yeah, like
Digimon
I want to
related.
hear it now.
You guys remember when Anja Woman first appears?
Yeah.
That whole
How
arc.
could I forget one of my greatest awakenings of all time? I
Uh,
was like, I never knew I wanted something so bad. Here we are.
that whole arc was like inspired me so much. I wrote stories about it as a kid, about like people coming to the real world and then having to deal with all these things that their kids are secretly doing, like saving the world and stuff. They had no idea this was happening. I just loved
Mhm.
that concept so much. I just kept running with it, writing story after story after story about it. I still am
Yeah,
actually.
Digimon's pretty great, dude. Like I actually enjoy that as a huge part of it. Other worlds colliding with ours is surprisingly is something that it has inspired my writing as well. Like like the book that I'm writing is involved in that, where multiple realms are on a collision course with each other, and what does that look like, and what could happen because of it. So yeah, like Digimon, huge inspiration.
Yeah, mine has 3 realms that coexist. The human realm, the realm in between where people who defend the human realm from the third realm, which is where like all the magical creatures and monsters live.
So in the middle realm in the between, are people who live there called the tweeners?
No, they're actually called what were they called? They were like I think the people who
I
actually defend thing are called the guardians and the people who live there are just called the veilers, I think. It's called the veil.
Oh, nice.
Effect Veiler is the level 1 light attribute spellcaster
That's-
tuner effect.
That's just a random like word I just came up with on the spot.
Okay.
I don't have a name
Oh,
for
man.
them yet. They just exist. There's a name for it. I think they're called potentials. While they're in school.
Completely off topic, but because that was like one of my TikTok videos, and Gamma says that TikTok will be closing soon. I
Probably,
think
yeah.
I've kind of like the thing that came to mind is I like, okay, well, I was saving this for later, but now I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna do videos until TikTok closes about my favorite waifu decks, and that's actually what I'm working on. So
Hey, I've been
that'll
watching.
be
Watching
fun.
be
I've watched.
the biggest hits just as it's closing.
I know, right? Like suddenly I just skyrocketed in fame. I was like, well, it's too bad this platform's going away.
Nah, people will find a way to use it still. They'll just VPN it.
Yeah, or something.
VPNs are free,
Uh,
so just Canada.
True. Well, I pay a lot for Nord, but yeah. Anyway, Gamma, why don't you tell us about one of your favorite tournament arcs?
My favorite tournament arc is just like I explained. It's within humans' capabilities. It's on the manga called manhwa, to be exact, called Usugoi, and the tournament start on chapter 474.
Good God,
Dude, why
like
do these stories never end?
that is deep into that story. Holy cow! What are
Oh.
they doing before the tournament?
Oh, there was another tournament before that, but this tournament
Oh,
that
okay.
I like before
So
this.
your favorite tournament starts. Okay, for a second there, I was like,
Yeah.
"Holy cow! Were they training this whole time? 400 chapters? Good God!"
No, I got a plot twist for you on this one, though.
Okay.
This is not a tournament between regular people. On the world of Usugoi, there's a club called Kakeru,
Mhm.
and whatever you wish can be accomplished through that club. Thing is, you gotta do a match against your opponent, and there's a referee always there to make sure that every rule is followed.
Okay.
In order to get to the Kakeru club, you gotta get invited or beat somebody that has a Kakeru club card and they bet it on their gamble and you win it from them.
Okay, I see. So there's like a little bit of hoops in order to get into the club, and then once you're in the club, you still have to win in order to make your wishes become a reality.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the thing is, you gotta think about, okay, these are the rules. How can I bend them? How can I cheat? And that's
It
what the whole
sounds-
manga is about. It's about a gambler.
It sounds a little bit like, oh gosh, No Game, No Life. a little bit like
this one is
Kakegurui?
takes it to the extreme with gambling.
Okay. Like Kaiji.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So like gambling. So like this tournament, is it with fighting or is it with games?
It is with fighting. And just like I explained, there are referees. The referees are not regular referees. They are the strongest that there is. And in order to become they get a ladder and they get a handkerchief with a number on them that determines their strength on that ladder. And the pinnacle of that ladder is referee 0.
Okay.
Everybody wants that handkerchief. You could challenge referee 0 however many times you want. But it could either cost you your life or a part of your body if you do it wrong.
All right. Has anyone ever beaten this referee 0?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
And there was a referee 0 before, which happened to was Kiara, because at that time of the tournament, Kiara died. But he stepped out of being referee 0 due to the fact that he's, just like you're a workaholic, this guy loves to fight. He lives to fight.
Okay.
So Goku then.
But he cannot fight as a referee.
Oh.
So he stepped down from being referee 0 in order to be with the main character of the story, Uzugoi. And now there's another referee 0 in there. The tournament that I'm talking about is a tournament between referees, because only one referee can be on the last game, which is surpassing the leader. That referee determines the game that those two people are going to go against. And they only got the privilege of being the referee if they're referee 0.
So they're kind of competing to get up to being referee 0, so that way they can have the privilege of competing themselves in this game.
Exactly.
I see. Okay, so almost like a tournament of the absolute strongest in that case.
Exactly. And there's plot twists in there. People that you think that they were easily able to be taken down, they reveal their trump card. For example, there's this referee that is always on a wheelchair and has a big ass head, and he only attacks with needles. Little did they know that he actually is able to use his legs, and he never revealed it until he had to save his son-in-law, because one of the people from the previous tournament was a sore loser and started to throw poison gas through the entire freaking island. So the referees are not only fighting against each other, they're fighting against the poison gas that is going on, which makes them hallucinate.
Okay.
The battle is going on, and referee 0, which I forgot his name at the moment, he's fighting the guy with the most potential in there. The thing is, that guy with the most potential, he has always hidden his potential due to the fact that he loves to fight as well. He's a fightaholic, if you call it that way.
This sounds so funny because, like it's almost like they're all pretending to be like not as good as they can be up until they get to a certain point where they're like, oh no, we're all stronger than you thought. I was like, wow.
But it's within human capabilities, though.
Okay.
So
and the referee
supernatural.
0 that is in there, the current referee 0, he is fighting that tournament with one hand that got pretty much shattered to pieces and sewn back together. Not only is it sewn back together, it's rotting.
At that point, I would say that you should probably just amputate it. I'm like, if it's rotting, you have no reason to keep it on, my man.
Yeah, it's going to spread the rest of your body.
Yeah. But so in that case, it's a grounded action, right? So it's mostly just like martial arts. There's no superpowers involved. The stakes for this, you would say, are probably just like pride, recognition, and also the chance of getting a wish, whatever wish you want.
Not the wish, because the referee would just be able to see the last battle between the current leader of Kakeru against the person that's challenging the current leader of Kakeru. Which, if the challenger wins, he becomes the leader of Kakeru.
Okay, so like in that case, it's almost like you're fighting for a promotion, so to speak.
A privilege of being able to see that fight because no other referee can see that fight.
Okay.
So you have to fight to become a referee to see a fight?
You don't understand, Sacro. It is the best possible fight because the guy is the leader. The guy is
Not
the
only
leader,
do you get
and
to see that
Uh-huh.
referee will determine the game between the current leader of Kakeru against his rival that challenged him.
oh, I see. So like, not only that, but they get to set the grounds for like how the fight's gonna go.
Exactly.
So like, imagine like there's two fighters ready, and then the moment that you win this tournament, you're the guy who gets to be the referee for that. You get to witness it, the only person who gets to witness it. But then additionally, you get to make the rules. So
Exactly. And
huh,
the thing is, right after this tournament, that next tournament takes over.
okay. So
So right after you get the fight going off, you gotta go to that next challenge for climbing the leader.
So, in your opinion, what sets this apart from like different tournament arcs? What makes it like the best one in your opinion?
The best one is the fact that there's a plot twist, just like I told you. There's
Mhm.
the people in there get to hallucinate
Mhm.
stuff. Well, the referee Zero that I was talking about fights against that other guy, but they fight in front of the previous referee Zero, Kiara, whose dead body is there, all rotten. His eyeballs fell off, pretty much a skeleton at this time, and his body's bloated as well. And just when they were about to land each other's killing blow, they both hallucinate Kiara just standing up between them and kicking their asses. And referee Zero goes for a counter against Kiara, which actually helps him win the tournament.
This sounds like a wild trip.
So,
Sounds
in
like a
other
manhwa for
words,
sure.
none of the guys in there are the pinnacle of referee Zero. Kiara is still the pinnacle even after death.
What's this thing called?
Usugoi.
Uzugoi. I've definitely never heard of
There's
it.
an anime of it too.
Is there?
And the
Ye-
art style in there is
There it is.
glorious.
I'm noticing the art style, and this looks very much like something that you would be into. You have a very specific art style that's your thing, and this is it. And as a matter of fact, I think that I see the exact point that you were mentioning here. Like, as a matter of fact, it's one of the first images that comes up on Google image search whenever you look it up. But yeah, there it is. Like the corpse gets up and stands up between them.
Exactly. That's a exact moment right there.
So, like, it sounds to me like what you like in a tournament is for it to be unpredictable as hell. Like we're gonna have really strong fighters who come in here expecting to either have a good standing or to dominate, only to be completely surprised by the level at which everyone exceeds anything they could have ever prepared for. So we not only have like characters who are pretending to be weaker than they are, who are now stronger than what they previously allowed you to believe, but you also have like just different sore losers kind of like throwing their hands into interfere with what's going on, which causes everything to go off the rails even more. It's pure chaos encased in like the shell of a tournament arc.
And that's the best part. It's just utter chaos. You never know what's gonna happen.
It's the unexpected nature of it. I got you.
And not only that, but the referees as well. Don't think of them as only male dominated. There's
Mhm.
females in there.
I mean, usually, yes.
Yeah,
There's one of the female that has her own female harem going on.
neat.
Oh, good for her.
Yes, it's very neat too. And there's
Like,
also a female referee that wants to be recognized as a male, so she grew up a mustache and she fights with a completely covered chest, like wrapped around, so that way her chest don't show up.
Does she want to
Yeah, I do.
be? Does she want to be male because she thinks that men have an easier time at life or recognized more, or she want to be male because she wants to be male?
She wants to be recognized as a male, so that way they don't look down on her.
Okay, so it's like Persona 4 storyline then.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kenichi, the mightiest disciple. Like it's a martial arts manga, and there is a character who's a leader of a gang, but like basically she got shunned from her martial arts dojo where she learned because she learned that everybody was pulling their punches because she was the only girl, and they were kind of looking down on her like, yeah, I like I wouldn't fight her seriously, she's a girl. So she became like the leader of a street gang, and eventually joined like the strongest street gang, and all of them love to throw hands with like what do you call it, strong opponents. So they start kind of like picking on like our main character Kenichi. Yeah, it's a trope that exists.
Must be a common trope. Yeah, I saw it in Persona 4 when she, Naoto. Now that you guys have played Persona, which is kind of crazy to me, but Naoto wants to be. There's a big discussion. People have been arguing about Persona 4 for years, but we'll talk about that another time. But basically, Naoto wants to be. She wants to be respected, and being a woman in her field, which is a detective / police officer kind of thing, they don't respect her as a woman. So she pretends to be a man and goes under the Detective Prince moniker. And people think she's just a femboy. But they respect her a lot.
It's something that also shows up in one of my favorite anime, One Piece, where Zoro's whole motivation is that, what do you call it? He's going to be the greatest swordsman. And up until a certain point in his childhood, his rival was the daughter of the master of the dojo. And she basically beat him at every turn. He could never beat her. And whenever they have kind of like a little bit of a heart-to-heart after like the biggest trouncing she's ever given him, she basically tells him like, it doesn't matter, like I'm beating you for now, but eventually, you'll get stronger because you're a man, and I'll just fall behind because that's just how biology works. And he basically says, no, you don't get to back out of him being the only one who gives her any kind of respect. He's like, you don't get to back out of this just because you're a girl. You're going to fight me with everything you got like you always do. And you're either going to beat me fair and square, or I'm going to beat you fair and square. And then she just dies by falling down the stairs, which is like the most what the hell, like death in One Piece. And so now Zoro basically carries on like that desire, like I'm going to be the greatest swordsman, not just for myself, but for both of us, because that was both of our goals.
Why is that such a strong trope in Japan?
Sacrow, hit us with the with your favorite tournament arc.
I've got two. One that's not so serious, just like one specific aspect I really like, and then one that I'm actually going to talk about. Mm-hmm. The first is, did you guys grow up with Beyblade at all?
Oh, yeah.
I never watched it, but yes, I know of Beyblade.
You didn't watch Beyblade? Gamma, you watch Beyblade, right?
As a matter of fact, there's even a Legend of Beyblade that Moses used a Beyblade to part the seas.
I remember seeing that, and I was what?
Yeah, that happens in one of the follow-up stages. Anyways, so the original Beyblade, the one I watched as a kid, or whenever I watched it, I don't even remember. My family was obsessed with Beyblade. My mom was obsessed with Beyblade. She watched it all the time, made us watch it with her, so we all liked it. Mom's weird. She likes anime, but only specific ones.
Okay.
So, like, she made us watch all of Dragon Ball Z with her, but we watched it first. She really liked the Blue Whatever show, even though it wasn't for kids. She was really into something blue. Or blue something. It was like this really weird mecha type show in the future, and it was like, people were like
Blue
dying.
Lagoon?
Blue Seed?
I don't remember what it was called, but she watched it.
Seed
It was definitely not
like
for
it.
kids, so we didn't watch it, but anyways, Beyblade.
There's a blue one that I can think of that's really not for kids, but I don't think you're... Yeah.
It was a TV series. It wasn't a...
Okay.
It wasn't a movie.
All right. Well, this one wasn't a movie either, but okay.
It was like all I remember about it is somebody gets eaten by like some monster or goo thing. Again, unrelated. So
anyway, carry on, Beyblade.
In one of the Beyblade arcs, I can't remember what the arc's called. It's been literally so long since I've watched it. They form a team, right? There's the four of them. There's Tyson, Ray, the Phoenix guy, and the Turtle guy. I think his name's Max, and I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I remember that season.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is. But anyway, they form a team, and they go around to different places to compete in tournaments as a team. And I just love the aspect of playing as a team and going around and having to compete in different things to make your like living through life, basically. That's something if I could do in real life, if that existed in real life, I would do it. but I suck at Smash
Like,
Bros, and that's the only one where you actually travel around and do tournaments.
like collecting gym badges in Pokemon.
Yeah, like exactly like Pokemon. Like you go from place to place. Like I always wanted to be pro
Well,
at League of Legends, but that only takes place in one area, and then you go to Worlds, which is cool. But it's not the same thing of like you start local, going to different cities and competing, and then you move up to national, and then you
my
move up
man,
to whatever.
that's what Yu-Gi-Oh is.
No, not card games. No, I'm talking about like a team game.
There has been instances in Yu-Gi-Oh where you have a team and it's a 3-on-3. So you and two others versus them and two others. So it's like it's only ever in threes. I've never seen it done with more than that. But yeah, you basically collect a team of you and two other guys, and you go against the other team of three. It's a thing.
I know Apex does it too. That's
Helix and I competed in one once. That was a lot of fun.
So I don't mind that system, but I prefer it more if you're all playing the same game as a team, literally playing. So Overwatch is doing that. So Overwatch League died, right? So they're doing more of a grounded Overwatch thing. People will make their own Overwatch teams and they compete in local tournaments to work their way up to like bigger tournaments. And that's how Overwatch is trying to rebuild their brand. It's working because it's way more interesting than watching, like 10 teams of just Korean players with names like the Houston Outlaws or whatever. It's like, that's not how that works. Like,
Firstly, the Houston Outlaws had Jake, who was from America, and we had Linkser, who was from the Netherlands, I want to say, and
I'm just throwing out names. I don't remember the name because I didn't watch Overwatch League. I was a League of Legends player. I watched I played Overwatch a lot too. I got to like Platinum or Diamond, which is higher than I got in League, honestly. Only because I found that Overwatch is so much easier to climb in if you just play one character really well. Off topic again. So they had this tournament arc, right, where they would send their whole team to different areas to compete, and like that was the whole thing. And I don't know, I just loved the camaraderie of it, like the playing on a team. I'm still like this. I want to play on a team so badly, but I just don't have the time to commit to any sort of team.
Yeah, that is kind of the thing. I mean, like, and same here. I mean, like, I love the competition aspect whenever I get really into a card game. But like whenever I get like really busy, like with things, like say content creation and like with my agent with like acting and all that stuff, suddenly I don't have the amount of time to pay attention to it. So like even though I was like, like hey, I qualified for like the nationals or whatever like several times, I haven't in a long time because I'm like I just got so much else to do and I don't have the time to like study the meta and like learn like what counters what, how to prepare for like this, etc. It's just I wish I could, but nope, can't do it.
So unrelated again, but it does relate to what I'm talking about, I guess. The Marvel Rivals game has open tournaments that anybody, as long as they have a team, could compete in, all the way up to the top levels. So just throwing that out there, an idea. It's just hard to get six people together.
I know, dude. Like it's just the same thing with D&D. Like the reason that most D&D campaigns fall through is because a bunch of people can't agree on the same time for anything.
No, it's easier when it's online though. That's why Marvel Rivals isn't so bad. You can play together online. You just need a time frame. Anyways, so I like the tournament aspect of that. They do it a lot. Pretty much the whole show's tournament arcs. They're fighting in different things to get better. But my actual favorite tournament arc, since that was just more of a haha, you guys seen Beyblade, was.
Yeah, but at the same time, they just yell at their Beyblade and they grow stronger with
They
stronger
do,
attacks. They just start spinning faster, and I go like, that defies logic.
They had the Bit Beast too. The Bit Beast you attach to them to make them like, yeah. So it's like a Pokemon, Digimon aspect. You get your own special Bit Beast.
Oh yeah, like Digimon used to have like the Tamers thing where they could Digimodify their Digimon by scanning a card into.
Yeah, that was actually the coolest part of Tamers.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, oh man, if as I was collecting the card game back then, I was like, if I had a Digimon, I could scan like my command options and like make them stronger. It would be great.
I also really liked the aspect where they were secretly fighting Digimon, like rogue Digimon in the streets, without people knowing about it. Like I don't know. I like that whole you keep it secret from your parents kind of thing. And then they find out one day and they see how cool you actually are.
Yeah,
I love
I did that with like, I did that with Yu-Gi-Oh from my parents, but they didn't think I was cool. They were just like, how much money have you spent in this? And I was like, listen, we don't need to talk about it.
So my favorite tournament arc, and you guys are probably going to guess this one, is the tuning exams from Naruto.
Oh my god, yes.
Because so it's very different than any other tournament arcs I've seen in multiple ways. Because it's a 3-step process to get to the next rank, because they're all starting as Genin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say that there's a lot of good and a lot of bad with this whole arc. It's
I mean,
so
we're throwing
spread out.
teenagers
Should've
into a
won.
forest so that they can kill each other. I mean,
That's only one part of the exam, though.
I don't know, man. Gara went real hard on Rock Lee. He could have killed him.
Well, they stopped him, but yeah, no.
Yes, they did.
So the first part of the tuning exams, right? So first they have to pass a certain number of missions to even get entered into it. So they do.
Mhm.
Then the first actual thing is a literal exam. They have to take an exam with math questions and history and how to like do this and that. And the whole exam isn't set up so you can pass it, because there's only so many ninjas who actually know this stuff well enough, who are actually book smart enough to actually pass this exam.
Mm.
So the idea is you have to cheat. Everyone has to
Cheat.
cheat.
Yeah.
Everyone has to cheat. That's how it works. Sasuke figures it out through copying people's marks by figuring out who knows what. He can just tell, because they have people also in the thing that are proctors. They know the answers. Those are the people you're supposed to cheat off of, just in case nobody happens to know. And Sasuke figures it out. Gar uses an ability he never uses again, where he makes an eyeball appear out of sand so he can see someone's thing.
Yeah.
Shikamaru uses his shadow clone something. I don't remember how he figures it out. Ino transfers into someone's brain, and Sakura just knows the answers because she's smart, and Naruto knows nothing.
And Neji uses his Byakugan to look through a dude.
Yes, he does, which is kind of crazy because Byakugan's a weird ability.
It is.
I hated the end of the arc though, where Naruto just has an outburst, and all of a sudden they're like, "You all pass." Like, okay,
Yeah,
sure, yeah,
I know,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, sure, Naruto, put no work into it,
That
buddy.
seemed to happen a lot in early Naruto, though, because you don't remember like their initial test with Kakashi to take the bells, and like now Naruto's tied up, but like don't share any food with him, but they share food. It's like you all pass.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
the idea, that would make sense though, because the actual test was sharing food with Naruto.
right.
I also like how he just doesn't get a bell. He just didn't. He didn't do
No,
it.
he got no bells.
It was just
Nobel
Sasuke and
Prize.
Sakura who figured it out.
Oh man, but what was the like? You guys ever see like I think it was a Naruto abridged thing, and I love how they made Neji like a surfer dude, and he didn't even pronounce it Byakugan. He called it Byakugan.
I like that. No, I haven't seen any of the abridged series in a while, but the Naruto abridges are weird because either they're terrible or they're like super funny.
Oh yeah. Like they had two different ones, if I remember correctly, that were made by two different groups.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one of them that it killed me. Like this joke was so stupid and so out of nowhere, but it made me laugh so hard that Naruto was obsessed with smoking. I was like, this is hilarious, and like especially because it would be like the dumbest things, like Naruto, why'd you steal the scroll? I was like, if I stole the scroll, I would have smoked it. And I was like, what? Like it was the stupidest joke.
Yeah, I always wanted to do an
but-
abridged series myself because I like writing, and I like voice acting. But I figured out I kind of want to be more of a character actor than a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
I want to voice things like Shadow the Hedgehog and like specific
Mhm.
characters. I don't want to be like an all-around voice actor. Like, oh, he's got a great voice for voice acting. No. He does characters, and that's all he does. So I want to do that.
But anyway, you were saying tuning exams?
So the first one ends kind of stupidly. Whatever, we get to see a girl who was on everyone's wallpaper in Anko for like the 2000s. Literally everybody had her everywhere, everything. You go to Photo Bucket, you type in Naruto, and you don't see Naruto first. You just see Anko in all sorts of positions. You're like, oh yeah, we're in the 2000s.
Oh my god, I haven't heard of
Photo Bucket?
in years.
You-
My god.
I've been so I'm doing a series on like the history of the internet kind of stuff, and I've been going through and finding websites that are gone. Photo Bucket's one of them.
Photo Bucket was one of them.
It exists, but you have to pay for it
all
now.
the time. Yeah.
I used to go all the
no,
time for
I'm
fan
not-
art, and now I don't.
Yeah, fan art and yeah, all that.
Now I got
But yeah,
Reddit.
Anko was a thing, and you
Yeah.
know, like, the thing is, I'm like, with the amount of attention she got, I was like, there's no way that this character doesn't become important later on in the story, and no, like at all, almost. It's like
She gets two more scenes.
Mm-hmm.
She gets one where we figure out her backstory with Orochimaru, where she explains the curse marks that Sasuke just got, which we're skipping ahead a lot. And then at the end, where Sasuke uses her curse mark to revive Orochimaru to ask him some questions. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
So Anko, crazy cool, crazy underutilized, like a lot of the characters in Naruto, and a lot of anime kind of just throw characters in. Everyone's like, I love this person, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Here's some new characters. Forget them; they don't exist. Which I hate. Anyways, so the second part of the exam is the Force of Death, which is one you were talking about earlier, where we see Gar. So Gara actually uses his sand tomb or prison and literally kills 3 different people.
And gets away with it.
Well, you're allowed to kill each other there. If you kill each other in that one, no one can say anything. No one knows what happens in the forest. You know, they're ninjas. They're there to kill. Killing is fine for them. But this is where we get most of our character development for characters. So Naruto gets one shot by Orochimaru, I think, and then Sasuke and Sakura are forced to fight him. And the fight's pretty cool. Sasuke uses this cool like thing where he throws out all the wire and he traps him, and then he uses the Phoenix Fire jutsu, which again Sasuke's just using all sorts of new jutsu. He, for some reason
that he never uses again.
No, he gets new jutsu all the time, and then he uses them a few times, and they look super cool. And then he's like, "Okay, I'm done using that ability now that I've used it once."
This was also probably one of the first times where Naruto animation got really weird.
Yes.
The second time being like, you know, the fight against Pain where he had like beak face as he was attacking.
Yeah. I mean, it moves so fast, and they randomly brought in animators for just the fight scenes. If you watch the DVD versions, they fixed them. But if you watch the TV version, which most of us did, they did not fix them. They were ugly. Like Dragon Ball Super had the same problem. And I'm sure like every other show has the same problem where they don't.
Oh,
like the TV version
of Naruto,
yes,
there was a video that I seen recently, and they say, "Hey, Itachi versus Aizen," and I was like, "Well, that will be Aizen who wins."
I would agree with that because Aizen, up until now, they haven't even released his Bankai. And I'm like, so we don't know the lengths to which Aizen can grow. Like, we have a pretty good idea about Itachi, but like, yeah, Aizen is.
Well, Itachi only lost because he was sick, and he was planning to die to Sasuke no matter what, just to make sure he was strong enough.
Naruto also did this twice, where it's like this character would be so awesome if he wasn't sick and dying.
Why did they pick Itachi though? Madara would sweep the floor with Aizen.
Yeah. Itachi was one, and the other one was Kimimaro, the bone guy.
Yeah, Kimimaro was dying.
Yeah, Kimimaro was dying. Well, Kimimaro, his whole point was he was dying. They set that up the second he stepped out. Like, I'm gonna die, and we're gonna make this worth it. So it was a cool. Actually, Kimimaro was a cool fight, man.
Yeah, it was a cool fight.
That was the end of the tuning exams. That was after, actually.
Drunk Rock Lee.
Yeah, Drunken Fist Rock Lee. I don't know. That's a weird choice to pick Itachi because he's not even like the main villain of the show. Like you pick the main villain of Bleach, and you're like, you know what? Let's pick him against someone who's kind of not a villain. You know?
Well, they just picked that as
they should have gone Madara.
Because of the illusion powers? Like, does Madara have illusion powers? I don't know.
He does. He doesn't use them. He just loves fighting. The only person who even stands close to him is the Wood guy whose name I can't.
Guy Sensei
for my brain. No, Wood.
I know which guy you're talking about because I used to play him all the time on Ultimate Ninja Storm, but I don't remember who he is.
Hashirama.
I think Hashirama is correct. Yes,
he's the first one.
His sails on his body already.
The guy who he uses the wood style jutsu. He's the one who makes the giant idol thing. He's basically the strongest ninja to ever exist. Him and Madara are like on par with each other, but Madara is stronger now by the end of the show until he gets sacrificed to create the goddess girl. Anyways, the fight's really dumb, and at the end, I wish Madara actually had been able to see the fight to the end. Because Madara is such a cool character. My dude was like sweeping the floor with all the Kages and the reincarnated Kages, and it's like, dude, who beats this guy?
Only God.
Yeah, God had to get rid of him.
Yeah, you kind of have to nerf characters that are this cool. Like, otherwise they just, like, steal the show.
Basically, he was so cool. Anyways.
Is that what they did with that guy from Jujutsu Kaisen?
Which guy?
The
Gojo?
dad that everybody drools about.
Yeah, Gojo. Like, I don't know that I would call him dad, but, like, you know, like, he's a...
Is it Gojo?
Oh, Toji.
Toji, yeah. Toji.
Yeah, Toji. Toji had his was a different thing because like supposedly all humans produce cursed energy, and if you're born without any, it's like something called heavenly restriction, which means you lack something that's natural to you. So like in return, like your physical prowess and capacity just goes through the roof. So
I
like
still think that
instead
the
of
way that he killed himself was stupid.
yeah.
I mean,
well,
it's,
I mean,
it's spoiler, but also if you type in Toji, the first thing you see on Google is death, so not really a spoiler.
Nah. Well, we knew he died. He was dead by the time the story got started. He came back in different ways.
Okay.
But yeah. So we were saying Chunin exams.
Oh yeah,
Chunin.
so the season 2 did a lot of, or the Force of Death was a lot of like the coolest part of the. So I wasn't really into Naruto before the tuning exam stuff because I didn't connect to Naruto in a way, and at that point I didn't really care for Sasuke or Sakura yet either. I was just like, okay, cool, whatever show. And then the Orochimaru fight starts, and like Sasuke does all this stuff, and he like stabs himself in the leg to break free of the pressure, the killing whatever that Orochimaru is putting out.
Mhm.
And he awakens his Sharingan again. He gets the 2-prong this time, and the fight goes so well, kind of. But he was always going to lose. Like Orochimaru's just way stronger. He's a kid.
Right.
And then he gets knocked out after getting the curse mark, and then Sakura's taking care of both of them. And then someone's showing up to take their scroll plus kill Sasuke. They don't care about Naruto at this point. They want to kill Sasuke though because he's a Uchiha. He's the last one, so there's some prowess behind killing him. But he can't do anything. So Sakura's forced to fight these 3 people by herself. And then later, people show up to try to help. I think it's Ino's team. So it's Ino, Shikamaru, and
Choji.
Choji. Yeah, sorry, man. I feel bad. Choji's great.
Fun fact about this.
Okay.
Like, did you know that Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji are actually named after a card game?
No. Is it Shogi?
There's a card game in
it's not a
Japan
shogi.
called Hanafuda.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Hanafuda,
yeah.
it basically has like a bunch of like different hands that you can play.
Mhm.
And one of the strongest hands that you can play is the Inoshika Cho. I don't know what exactly it is, but basically like their names spell out the hand that you can play in Hanafuda.
They also their parents go by that name because their parents were also on a team. They go under the Shikocho moniker before they all die. Spoilers, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, all the parents of I don't know if they all die. I think maybe Shikamaru's dad lives. No. Yes. I don't know. I had to look it up. It's been a while since I've read. I never actually watched the ending. I kind of read it.
Yeah, I think I've seen a spoiler that supposedly Shikamaru is becoming the new Hanzo.
The new Hanzo.
Yeah.
Oh, I just know Naruto right now is out of commission in Boruto. I don't watch Boruto. I pretend like it doesn't exist. Not because I don't think it's good, but because I think they're gonna kill off Sasuke Naruto, and I don't think that's a good way to continue the series.
They pretty much brought Sasuke back to full power.
Oh, again?
Yeah,
Cool.
they gave him his. Boruto came back in time, got Sasuke's arm and his eye fixed.
His arm's back too?
Yup.
Don't do this to me, Gamma. I'm not reading Boruto.
Like, no, Gamma, don't do this to me.
The best arc in Boruto was the only one I read, which is when him and Sasuke go back in time, and Sasuke has to meet younger Sakura, because I thought it was such a cute moment, and then the internet did what the internet does, and I'm like, no, please stop. Do not ship kid Sakura with Sasuke as an adult. That's gross, guys. Please.
Yeah.
Also, there's a new design for some new girl I saw on one of the Boruto covers, and I'm like, okay, I might come back for this.
Oh, like the one that looks like super like sci-fi, like the one with the blue hair, the curly blue. Yeah, same.
I'm into that.
I was like, I don't know what it is about this character, but I might pick up Boruto.
I might finally pick up Boruto. The hate's finally over. Maybe I'm ready.
And
I'll wait.
Sasuke's daughter getting a new Sharingan.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I do like her design. I don't like her time skipped, quote unquote, design though. It's fine.
Yeah, that's you know what? I was gonna say something about daddy issues. I'm not gonna go there.
Well, you already said that your dad is boring, so you're here spending time with your daddy because he's more fun.
I should.
And anyway, tuning exams.
Okay. Let me speed roll this. We've been talking about this for too long. I don't like being the main talker for this. So Sasuke gets curse marked. Sakura like cries out because she's getting attacked by 3 people, and then Sasuke goes demon form. And one of my favorite things is when people go this demon form, uncontrollable power. Goes in, breaks this guy's arms, we'll have to kill him until Sakura's like, no, don't do it. And then he's like, okay, fine. And that was like the big ship moment for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like that's my wife talks about all the time. She's like, this is the moment where I knew. And I'm like, okay.
I'm not. I
It
felt
makes
like
sense.
That was like so not like I'm
But
like
they
this.
completely
They're
they completely blank out at the fact that Sasuke was gonna kill Sakura later on.
She was going to kill
Dude,
him
like,
too.
That's where I'm at because I'm like, look, I get it. They're together. You know, I'm not going to argue with canon, right? But like, this felt so one-sided for the entirety of
It
the story. I'm
was.
like, this is a
No.
Sakura thing, and
Did
I'm like,
did you watch it? There's so many moments where it's like, okay, yeah, the only person Sasuke literally cares for is Sakura and Naruto.
Naruto.
Which feels like it came out of
More
nowhere.
Naruto
I
than
feel like he
Sakura.
loves Naruto more than he likes Sakura. Like, to be honest, you know, I'm
Hey,
like, dude,
you
like,
gotta remember
and-
too.
I,
Naruto stole
They
Sasuke's
kissed.
first kiss.
Yeah. He did. Yeah, that's
You're
true.
like, you got to remember too. I was like, they kissed.
So there's okay. So I don't want to go through this all. This is not the Naruto episode, but there's okay. So the first scene was that one where she hugs him and he regains his control because of her. That's a pretty big trope in a lot of these where it's like the girl that can help him.
Mhm.
It's like help
Okay.
is like that's the romance angle, right?
That's
There's-
unhealthy, but okay.
It's not that she controls him; she just brings him back from the dark side he was heading towards.
That's still unhealthy. Like your
It's-
boyfriend's
it's-
addicted to drugs, but
it's a-
only you can help him.
It's a pretty common trope, though, and not just anime, in all forms of media. It's just like
for sure,
Okay,
for
okay.
sure.
So there's
think
that
of
one,
it
right?
this way: it's like Bard going down the deep end, the really bad deep
I
end,
knew this was
and
coming
a
back to me.
Toxica
Yep.
comes and hugs him tightly, and he gets back to normal.
What does
Yeah.
my deep end even look like?
he's playing Yu-Gi-Oh again, but for real this
Oh,
time.
But for reals this time.
He's
So she,
he's
like-
carrying a Glock, and if you go to the Shadow Realm, you're going to the Shadow Realm.
And so, like, the thing is, she's toxic. So what? Does she bully me out of playing Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't understand.
No,
Oh,
she
she
bullies him to
step
play
on you
more
too.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Anyways,
Anyway.
so there's several moments in the original series where it shows it. There is the weird scene where she was gonna kill him because she didn't think he would ever come back, and so he's like gonna kill her as well. And then it's such a weird idea because you can tell at some point he was like not sure what he was doing with his characters, which
Mhm.
a lot of manga and anime. If you like look into their plots, you're like, why?
Well,
Ev-
this is editors though, because like there's a thing. If the audience responds really well to a character that the author didn't think to use, now they're stuck. Their hands are tied. They have to use that character.
Just like
Sasuke's existence.
Oshinoko, right?
Oshinoko.
Like Oshinoko, yeah, because Akane was gonna die.
Yeah, I guess that's true as well. I mean, Sasuke probably was going to die as well before everyone was like, no, keep him around.
No, we like our emo kid.
We like him. Bring him back. Season 2. Anyways, there's also the scene where Gaara kidnaps or like attacks Sakura when she's trying to like do, I can't remember what she's trying to do. Knocks her into the thing, and Sasuke's curse mark comes in because he used too much of his chakra, so it takes control.
Mhm.
So he's not able to save her, and he like tells her that later, like, I'm sorry, I wasn't the one who saved you. And it's like this big moment between the two, which I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know how much you guys know about Naruto. And then there's this scene where he tries to
I just
leave
finished
the
Shippuden.
village.
That's as far as I got.
Yeah, but this is the original Naruto. When he's about to leave the village, was after the tuning exams.
Mhm.
She like tries to reason with him, and he's like, "Yeah, you can come with me." And then he sneaks up and knocks her out, and then places her gently on the bench
Yep.
I remember that
because
yeah.
he's like, "You can't come with me. I don't want you to have to see what I have to do." And it's like there's a lot of moments, you know. Of course, you have to look at it through a shipper's eye, because if you don't, then you're gonna miss a lot of that context.
I feel like shippers are reaching though.
No, these ones are all pretty common things. People were shipping Naruto and Sakura for the longest time, which is why people didn't want to talk about it.
People were
They're like main
shipping
girl,
Hinata
main
with
guy every
Naruto.
time. Yeah, well, Hinata at this point was literally just a stalker who was claiming
True.
Naruto was
True.
this great guy without ever explaining why.
Hinata, the
I
girl with
personally-
X-ray vision that only likes Naruto. Everybody else likes
Well,
Sasuke.
The reason she likes Naruto is because he apparently defended her when when they were kids or something.
Mhm.
That's it. That's literally it. That's just one moment where he's just like, "Hey, stop bullying her," and then they're like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like, "I like this guy."
personally- I never liked the idea of what do you call it, Sakura with Naruto either. I thought like, well, firstly, they didn't seem to have that chemistry for me.
No, they had
Um,
best friend chemistry though, because they're really
Yeah.
close.
right.
She's in almost
I
as many
felt
episodes as
like
he is.
right. I felt like I liked the idea of Hinata and Naruto off the bat because I was like, oh, shy girl has a crush on the guy that's probably eventually going to become the biggest guy in the clan in the what do you call it in the village. I like that, but I really think that they didn't do as much work as they should have with it. So it was just kind of one of those things where it's like it's gonna happen, but like it's just gonna happen because it's gonna happen, not because we worked for it.
Yeah,
So
it's a problem with a lot of shonen stories. They don't think
yeah,
that because they're like, oh, they're written for young boys and male audiences, and it's like, yeah, but we do want developed romances still. We don't want them to be like, yeah, here's the pretty girl and she likes him. Sorry, that's it.
yeah,
Later.
like I think Ichigo and Orihime kind of the same thing, you know.
Oh, I
Like
hated
this,
Ichigo and Harihime. It made zero
Yeah.
sense, except for the fact she had a crush on him since episode 1.
Well, there's
Right,
some good news. On the manga that I spoke about, there is no romance. It's only gambling and action.
You think I want to watch gambling in action? Nah, I like character drama.
Yeah.
I like
Gambling and
Oshinoko's
action.
like my favorite anime. One of them.
I personally like could go either way. I like a balance if a balance is possible, but if you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
do one or the other and that's what you're doing, I like that too.
I like it to be
but-
mixed. I like to have more stuff in it, but let me finish
Right.
up the tuning exams. Okay, cool fight.
Yeah, okay.
They make it out of the forest, right? Then they fight each other, and the cool like there's a mini preliminary fight because too many people survived, and then we get the coolest fight with Gaara and Rock Lee that everyone talks about to this day.
Mhm.
Sasuke has that one fight where we figure out that he can also use the Sharingan in a similar way to Kakashi, where he copies Gaara's or not Gaara's, he copies Rock Lee's move, not entirely because he's still being manipulated, his power still being suppressed by the curse mark, but he uses a different varied version of it, and he's also hurt.
Hmm.
So, but he wins his fight just barely, and then he gets rushed off, and then gets taken by Kakashi, which they always do. Naruto's fight's stupid, where he beats.
Gaara
Gaara?
with the power
No.
of friendship.
Oh, Kiba? No, not
Kiba
Kiba
by
but like
farting.
Neji. Yeah, he beats Kiba by farting, and he beats Neji.
Neji-
because...
He beats Neji just because Neji had blocked all of his chakra things. So he goes and talks to the Nine-Tailed Fox. And he's like, "Give me some chakra," and he's like, "I guess."
Mhm.
And then he one punches him out of the ground because apparently he can just hide in the ground or something. Honestly, Naruto's fights in the original show are stupid. They're all bad. I didn't care for Naruto as a character until Shippuden. Everyone else is cool though. Hey, if you love something enough, you can see the problems with it. If you can't see the problems
That's
with
true.
it, you don't love it enough, or
Yeah.
you're blind.
I get it.
So Neji's fight's cool, or not Neji's fight. Sorry. Well, I guess there's Neji versus Hinata, which was
Yeah.
kind of her one moment because she literally never fights after that in canon.
Oh, snap.
True.
Yeah, so she loses pretty handily, and then
Yeah, didn't she become like a nurse on Boruto or something?
no, she's a
Housewife.
housewife.
Housewife. Wow.
She's literally nothing in the as the series of Naruto goes.
Oh, wow.
They
I
try
mean, a housewife is not nothing. But
in
I mean,
Naruto,
like,
I said. In the series of
Okay.
Naruto, she's nothing. Basically, she's just the bearer of Naruto's kids.
She's not even a ramen
She's-
maker.
No, she's just the mother of the main character's kids. That's all she does. Like when the village gets attacked, she sits there and watches as everyone else goes out to stop it. Sakura's punching giant rocks out of the sky. What's her name? Tamari's got her fan and she's flowing things away. It's like, and she just sits there. Oh no, sad.
Wow.
What a waste of a character.
Yeah, like I said, like I wasn't a fan of the way that that they just got together just because that's what needed to happen. But yeah,
Yeah, the movie literally was Naruto being like, "Oh, she likes me. That's crazy. I guess I like her too." That's literally how the movie goes. It's so dumb. Anyways, the cool fights happen. Some character moments happen. People still meme on the Ino versus Sakura fight where they both lose.
Actually, I can't really knock it. I've gotten into relationships before because I was like, "Oh, she likes me. I guess I do too." Like,
The
that's
idea changes when you figure it out.
Look at that.
And then the final part is them. So the final exam part is fine, but the actual tournament arc of it ends abruptly
Mhm.
and turns into a full fight between Orochimaru, his goons, and the village.
Mhm.
And that's cool because you get to see a little bit of people's
Like their parents come out and
Yeah,
start
yeah, their
swinging, and
parents
it's
get a
like,
swing, and you get to see how cool the past ninjas were, and I love that.
yeah, it's kind of like a legacy type thing. You're like, okay, see, like these kids that we're kind of like paying attention to during the story are eventually going to be like what their parents were in their heyday, and I'm like,
And we
okay,
see the
I kind of
Hokage
like
fight
that.
too.
Yeah,
And there was the Hokage fight.
the third
Yeah,
Hokage was
he summoned,
so cool in that fight.
he summoned like a Grim Reaper to like fucking steal the soul out of Orochimaru. I was like, damn. I
Yeah,
was like, that's a thing you can do? Good lord.
He almost got him too, but he didn't. He just got his hands.
Just got his
And that
hands. It was like,
jutsu
So he can't,
never
what?
used
so he can't do
again.
jutsus ever again. Well, he just changed bodies, but yeah.
Yeah. you
So
know
it turned
how
out to be
Orochimaru
it
did.
turned out to be worth nothing. Also, Orochimaru's a good guy in Boruto.
Yeah.
He
He's a
is.
kid too.
I have a, like, I always talk about my normie friend who actually agreed to do an episode with us. But like, so my normie friend liked Naruto, right? But it's for one specific reason. He likes snake-themed characters. So Orochimaru was his boy.
Oh my god.
What a
now-
choice.
That being said,
I think I know who
whenever
your
we
normie
got
friend
to-
is.
right, whenever we got to Boruto, he goes like, it's wild to me that Orochimaru committed crimes against humanity and he's just vibing in the village as a good guy now.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't disagree. This is like the biggest what the hell.
Yeah, he helped rebuild and repair and help win the war, so they kind of forgave his war crimes, I guess. The
guess.
American way.
Yeah,
The-
you massacre people in the village. They're not coming back, but hey, you help build it back up. We're buddies.
You
Yeah.
help rebuild. Thank you, Orochimaru.
Why didn't they kill the old people too, who were like, let's bully Naruto as a kid?
No kidding.
Sasuke should have got away with it. He should have killed all of them. They forced his brother
Damn.
they forced his brother to kill his entire family
hmm
Right.
because they didn't have to do that. They could have talked. There was literally an episode where they're like, "Yeah, we're in talks to like figure out why we've been oppressed this entire." Because they oppressed the Uchiha because they were too strong, so they were being oppressed
Right.
the entire time
Because
since
of
the
that
second
Hokage
Hokage.
that hated the Uchiha
Yeah, he
clan.
hated them. I love the meme about him being super racist against the Uchiha. It's such a funny idea.
Well, that I love the like the whole meme of the third Hokage, like the fourth telling him like, hey, listen, I'm probably not gonna survive. Do you promise to take care of my son? Like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, Naruto, an orphan, having nothing to
Here's some
eat,
ramen
living
money.
alone, and he's like, he's probably fine. He's probably fine. I'm like, God damn
His
it.
grandson
fair,
gets
yeah, I
the
don't think
best
the writer thought
tutor
that
and
far ahead.
everything paid off.
Yeah, it was so stupid. Honestly, stupid.
Yeah, but
There's a lot of things like that. But yeah, the tuning exams were cool. That's it. That's all I got.
yeah, tuning exams was. Gosh, this was a trip. Like that threw us for a loop in so many different ways.
Well, like we had so many side tangents about the actual story because we've all seen it. I've never seen what Gamba's talking about, so I couldn't talk to it.
There's also
don't know
one
enough
more
about
Yu-Gi-Oh to
tournament I
talk to
forgot
it.
to talk about. But this one
The
goes
same,
against what I was
but-
saying, though.
Okay,
Oh.
let's hear it.
Ultimate muscle, ultimate.
Oh, Ultimate Muscle, my God. I hear that it's getting a new anime.
Oh, there is a new anime already on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's
Already?
awesome.
Okay. Yeah, so like Ultimate Muscle is basically like fucking professional wrestling, but like the anime, it's
With superpowers.
with superpowers. It is the
So-
biggest trip,
like Mucha Lucha.
Yeah. But imagine that more anime-wise, like Dragon Ball Z.
That's so funny because I remember saying that about My Hero Academia. I was like, My Hero Academia is just Mucha Lucha for weebs.
Have you guys? Okay, what do you guys think about the tournament arc in the first tournament arc in My Hero Academia?
I
forgot about it.
Here's the thing. Uraraka versus Bakugo was fun because I was like, he is stronger, but she is plucky and she might pull it off. And
I knew
for a
she
minute
wouldn't
there,
win.
Yeah, no. For a minute there, it looked like he was cooked, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. If she wins, this is gonna be so much fun." But he's Bakugo, so obviously she's not gonna win, right? So like the fact that he just last minute just pulls it off, I was like, well, that was kind of boring. Commit to the bit, you nerds. But like Deku versus Todoroki was
Such a
was
fun
good.
fight. It was so fun to watch. I
Yeah.
like that he lost.
Yeah, same. It was really, really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And it had like that emotional weight that My Hero Academia seems to carry with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I really did think that was a really well done tournament arc. I kind of wish that like the weight of it had carried over through a lot of things. But ultimately, like My Hero Academia, with some characters, not with all of them, but with some of them, kind of has this tendency to just kind of like flanderize them. You know what I mean? Like where it's what they're a one note character, and that's the one note that they're gonna go on the entire time. So it's like Uraraka, unfortunately, despite the fact that I love her character, I love who she is, what she does, her motivations, this and that. It is kind of a one note character in that regard, where it's ultimately like I have to do it because everyone is counting on me, because my family is counting on me, because this is who I am, because this is what I do, and so ultimately all of her fights kind of feel the same. It feels like she doesn't, like, she has a character arc, but it's so subtle, that you almost like don't feel it. But
we need a
whenever
time skip.
I agree with that, and the fact that the time skip happened at the conclusion felt a little wrong to me.
Yeah, the whole ending felt bad to me. I can't even watch the show anymore because I know how it ends.
I thought that the ending was fine, but like as far as the theming goes, because ultimately the theming in this was like, we need to do better, like heroes need to like really step up to do more than to just punch villains whenever they show up. You need to be an inspiration that helps people act differently so that villains don't show up in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And it
That's
is something that they kind of covered in the final chapters, and like they were really building up towards that. And so like basically like the society that we close on in My Hero Academia is different from the society that we started in that people seem to have a lot more empathy and a lot more understanding, and we're growing towards a better place collectively. So I was like, that's fine. But I really do feel like Sacrow's right, and that we should have had a time skip somewhere in there to just kind of like really let it simmer some extra. You know what I'm saying?
I'm fine with an ending.
So. Deku's supposedly dad showing up with milk after so many years.
Yeah.
Deku's dad never showed up with the milk, yeah.
There is one part that I hated about the tournament arc, and that's that Todoroki, after going all out against Deku and winning, does nothing against Bakugo.
Agreed, yes.
That was stupid. He had his whole moment. He should be ready to go now. He should have won.
Maybe
Todoroki should have swept the floor with Deku. Or not Deku,
as a real match. Or Bakugo didn't get on his nerves enough?
It's
Bakugo didn't get on his nerves enough is what happened.
I just don't think it was a good way to end it. Like, sure, making Todoroki like regress back to the beginning of when he started his fight with Deku was dumb. He was already there. He already got to his moment.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it. Make the fight cool and then win or lose, but don't just do nothing, basically. Like,
yeah,
Todoroki
don't do nothing.
Todoroki's my favorite character, and they're like, I hate Bakugo. He's a bully, and he's just an awful character.
Bakugo should have stayed dead. They brought him back to life at the end.
Gamma with the hot take. Bakugo should stay dead.
No, I agree. It made more sense for his character to stay dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would make sense. Think of it. They were hinting at All Might dying, like, hey, nobody's gonna know how you died. But he's still alive somehow. At least give me some hero's death, since all the villains are dying.
Well, we got some hero's death though. We like Midnight died.
Protagonist.
Oh, protagonist. Yes. No protagonist.
Did any of the classmates die? No, none of the classmates died.
None of the classmates died, but like there was injuries, like injuries that they can't recover from. Like Earphone Jack got one of her earphone jacks like chopped off in her attempt to help.
Yeah.
So she can't use her powers like she used to. I think like she's permanently operating with a handicap.
And I think the guy with their T-shirt cannot close his eyes anymore.
Yeah, Eraserhead got an injury to his eyes, so he can't use his power anymore.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, there's a lot of injuries, but I mean, like, they didn't kill anybody in the main cast, and if they were gonna kill anybody, it would have been Bakugo, because he would have the most emotional weight behind it.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah,
oh, he
they kill-
died, but yet this guy that we don't know, we don't see that much, has a power to bring Bakugo back to life.
Yeah,
Uh,
Best Genist stitching him together. Ah,
Mhm.
come on. Like it's just
You
like,
know,
oh,
it makes sense. Best Genius would do it though.
Yeah,
So.
best
it
genius.
makes sense because he was technically his mentor, you know. So
Mhm.
it's like,
he was he was like the one that he finally looked up to and was like, I guess I should start trying to be a better person.
I suppose so.
Or-
yeah,
He still
So-
didn't get quite enough
Mhm.
arc though. I think
Or
Bakugo still
grabbing the
disliked.
person that is supposedly the second strongest and represents the USAA gets killed.
The
Oh, yeah.
USA.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the Star and Stripe. Yes,
Yeah.
the U.S. All Might. Yeah, she was cool, man, and her power was actually kind of nuts, because it was like, yeah, she can like, in, how do
As
you
long
how
as
do you
she
explain this?
believes in it, it will happen.
No, it was like she could determine a rule to apply to something
Mhm.
around her, right? And like that, basically, it would operate under her command. And I was like, that is such a busted power. No shot she loses to this guy. And no, she lost to that guy. And it was so stupid because
So
for as much as she was hyped up, she was there for like an episode, maybe two. You know, and I was like, oh, come on, bro.
I have a theory about this. And
Go
it's
ahead.
definitely
I
it's
wanna
definitely
hear
a
it.
full video or a full
Mhm.
stream worth.
Oh shoot!
And that's
Oh, God.
and it's about power scaling in animes and how writers have no idea what they're doing. They will
That's-
create something with such an insane power they have no way of countering. They'll just kill the character or make them just disappear.
Yeah, and that is kind of a thing. Like, you know, you kind of have to keep in mind that there should be a power level, or a power ceiling to your power system.
Yeah.
Because if not, you kind of end up writing yourself into a wall whenever things like Aizen happen. You know, where you're
Well,
like,
Yeah.
how do we beat
Aizen
this
is
guy?
the pinnacle of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Whenever
So
he cast Hado number 90, that episode alone gave the animators seizures.
Wow.
The
It's a fact.
animators.
He was too strong.
He was too strong. He was inflicting psychic damage onto them, like through
Broke the
their art,
fourth wall right there.
Yeah. It's
through the
it's like-
fourth wall.
Like they made what's his name? Like Madara was too strong, so they had to nerf him, and then they had to buff Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto at the final fight, and they also had to buff Kakashi. I forgot about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they could
Kakashi,
four man her to take her down, and then after
Yeah.
that they're like, you know what? We're still not done. Sasuke and Naruto need to fight one more time. And then they just decide on a draw, but Sasuke's like, nah, I lose. You win. Haha, my bad.
Yikes.
Like, okay, dude, you can still stand up. Naruto can't. Like, you technically won, but no, it's fine. We're good.
Like, hey,
There
Sasuke,
is-
you lost an arm. You'll be fine.
Yeah, they both lost an
Naruto
arm.
brings it back to you.
And Naruto got his replaced, but Sasuke kept his as a form of atonement for all the terrible things he supposedly did. Hey, Danzo
So
deserved to
there-
die. Sorry.
The-
go ahead.
No worries. There is one more tournament that I kind of wanted to bring up because to me this is probably like peak tournament writing,
Yu Yu
and that
Hakusho?
is the Dark Tournament in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yay!
And look, this is probably one of the best tournament arcs in
The
anime.
mo-
Like
The
hands
millennial
down.
urge to talk about Yu Yu Hakusho at every turn. I got you. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the millennial urge to talk about Yu Yu Hakusho at every turn.
Yeah.
But I think Yu Yu Hakusho is as old as I am at this point. But like anyway, but yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho, dude. Like, because for one thing, it's got everything, right? Like, it is kind of a tournament arc. It's one that our characters are pushed into against their will, right? Like, Toguro basically makes a show of threatening literally all of the good guys, saying like, if you don't show up at this tournament, you will regret it. Will
Mhm.
you probably die at this tournament? Yeah, probably. But you'll at least stand a chance to stop me from killing you. Whereas if you don't come, I will 100% kill you, everything you love, throw like, you know, the spirit world for a loop, everything, you know?
What
and-
about
and so
the
it-
Dragon Ball? Have you seen the tournament of Power and Super,
Yeah, I see.
No.
where they like are gonna wipe out an entire universe if you lose?
No, but I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, those are the two I compare it to. I want to say Dragon Ball created the tournament arc, kind of, or at least
Maybe.
they
Like,
popularized it.
at least how we know it in modern anime, I
Yeah.
would say so, yeah.
So I want to say that Dragon Ball Super looked back at Yu Yu Hakusho and took that tournament Instead, we can
Mhm.
do our own version of it.
And the thing is, Togashi's really good at writing tournaments too, because the Dark Tournament, even though I would say is just the pinnacle of his writing, isn't the only tournament arc that he's done, and he's done others that are equally as creative and inventive as the Dark Tournament was. In his follow-up work, Hunter x Hunter, there
Ooh.
is this whole tournament arc that takes place in this battle tower, and it's before our main characters even know what the power system in this world is. They don't know what Nen is, and
Yeah.
basically, the higher they go in this battle tower, the more enemies are acquainted with the existence of Nen, to the point where it's like if they proceed any further, there will not only be at a huge handicap, but like somebody who has no Nen, or like they don't know how to use it, could very easily die if they get hit with one attack from it, because they won't know how to absorb it, so to speak. You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
only thing that bugs me about it, though.
Was that?
That character, what's his name? Killua. He should have known
Killua,
what
yeah.
name was.
Yeah, I agree with that. Killua should have known what Nen was, because his parents, his family is assassins, and
And they
all of
use
them
Nen.
use it. Yeah, so it's weird that he personally wouldn't know, right? But yeah.
It's just again writers making stuff up and then being like, "Oh crap, just kidding, haha, my bad."
Right.
And how
But,
Hisoka gave both Gon and Killua, and I don't know if there was somebody else among them at that time, their blessing with his killer key or Nen at that time.
right. Hisoka is a character that could take up an entire video too, because I swear, like, that is a villain that the fact that he exists makes the show so much more interesting, because they just chew the scenery. You know what I mean? There are villains that when they are on screen
Mhm.
instantly make everything so much more interesting. Like, because you know that even if they're not doing anything, they're up to
Mhm.
something. And it just like adds this tension to the main cast, and it's so good.
But Bard,
But yo,
Hisoka died.
I don't know. I didn't
No,
finish Hunter
no,
x
I'm
Hunter.
telling you, he died.
Cool. I don't know. I never saw
I've
Hunter.
never
He
seen
got
Hunter x Hunter either.
decapitated, and his ability, his Nen ability, bungee
Mhm.
gum, brought him back to
Bungee
life,
gum.
and brought
Right.
out his abilities even higher now.
Okay, so it's like Cell when he dies and then comes back to life even stronger.
Or just Saiyans in general.
So
but
right
yeah.
now his
Well, they can't die. That's
his
near
ability
death.
is a true Nen ability.
Honestly,
I
the
don't
only
know,
thing I
man.
know about Hunter x Hunter is the weird hair thing that Gon did, and I was like, I'm not watching this.
Oh yeah, whenever he went from being 12 years old to being like a 40-year-old
Uh-huh.
man that's just ripped to hell with hair that like extends infinitely upward. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
I saw
you
that and I'm
know
like,
that
I'm
there
probably
is
gonna
a
watch this.
pen of that exact Gon that you could buy?
I'm sure.
A pen?
Yes.
So it just has infinite hair going up?
It has Gon at the end, and the pen is just the whole hair of Gon all the way to the
That's
tip of your pen.
funny.
It's funny, yeah.
But basically, to say my last piece about the Dark Tournament is that there was stakes for everyone, right? And it's kind of a mix of all things, because you have people who are there for the pride and for the glory of it all. You have people who are there because they enjoy a fight. They love the violence. And our main characters are there against their will, but with the intention of like going home and surviving and protecting everything. But additionally, they didn't have that much time to prepare either, so they all kind of took their time to prepare as best as they could. But when they're there, they're still kind of on the back foot. Yusuke and Kuwabara, being humans, they're not familiar with this world. They don't know what to expect.
Kuwabara, my guy.
But yeah, Genkai and Hiei and Kurama are all more familiar with it, but their familiarity doesn't give them any amount of confidence. If anything, it makes them a little more nervous about it, because they know how savage this tournament can get.
But this is my
so
problem, though.
Mhm.
Let's compare the tournament at that time and the other tournament that happens afterwards, where we know that
I
there's
didn't see
higher
that one.
level demons, there's S rank demons and A rank demons. How
Mhm.
in the world was Toguro was gonna do something with a B rank demon body against them?
Well, we didn't know that at the time, though, so it was just kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, systems kind of just get added by writers repeatedly throughout the creation. That's why I don't like a lot of manga stuff and like stories that people write and update monthly or weekly.
Right.
They'll change stuff.
It almost feels like you should like have like at least an outline of where your power level is going to cap out. Which is, I know you guys are going to disagree with me, but which is what I love about One Piece, because Eiichiro Oda knew exactly where it was going to cap out, and that's what he's been working towards. Nothing feels out of place, and nothing feels like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. That feels like he just made it up, because...
Well, we're also talking about things that are finished. Yours isn't finished yet, so give it some time. By the time the finish comes, you'll see. You'll see.
I'm sure. But ultimately, like, the best... I think that perhaps one of the best things about it is that everybody went through an additional character arc as they were going through the Dark Tournament. Everybody. So it's like we got there and we'd been through off-screen training, so we have new powers, new abilities, we're stronger than before. But our characters throughout this tournament are constantly going through something else, and almost individually, right? Like they're a team, but it's almost like they're dealing with their own demons as individuals as they try to band together and overcome like the insurmountable odds that they've been placed before. It is just such good fiction.
We find out more stuff about here. We see Kurama's true form. Genkai, we see her at her peak for I think a brief second.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Not just a brief second. She's actually in her youth form for quite a bit. We see Kuwabara go from like just kind of like a goofy character to well, he's still kind of goofy, but he actually wins a few fights on his own without like
help.
Under his own strength and using his own ingenuity, which it's not like he hadn't before, but like now we're really getting to see him shine against higher tier demons. And ultimately we see Yusuke basically come to terms with a lot of the stuff that had been kind of his character, like you know how they say that whenever you're writing, you're basically making a story by making your character realize the reality of a lie that they believe internally, a lie that they had internalized, right? And Yusuke kind of had like this image of himself where he's no good, he'll never amount to anything, he might as well just be a punk since everybody's just going to boss him around all his life. And here he is in this tournament and really having to embrace the fact that he's more than that. He's actually a hero, and it's not that he doesn't care, it's that he cares so much. And like that's not a bad thing, and that he shouldn't hide away from these feelings that he's having, but rather embrace them. And that's where his true strength lies, in not running away from like his potential, but running towards it. And if he fails, he fails, but like you will climb so much higher by being true to who you are internally than you ever will be by pretending that you don't care. And it really comes to light fully in the final battle against Toguro, and I really love that.
And then he becomes a demon.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, but yeah, you know what?
Throw away all that development. Doesn't need to happen.
Yeah. But that's all the ones I had. You guys got any more?
I mean, I have some, but nothing worth talking about.
Okay.
We like pretty much skipped over the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, which has like 15 different tournament arcs.
But
the thing is,
there,
I feel like Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, etc., could have their own episode where we discuss it, because I feel like that is one thing after another, and it is such a like, honestly, like let's discuss this one at length, because we can't discuss it along with other things, because then we'll never finish.
True. We also didn't talk about One Piece's tournament arc.
There is
Fairy Tales.
Fairy Tail has many. One Piece has one, and it's not even like one that we get to see to its conclusion, because it's like we're on this island trying to stop a drug trafficker, and they're
pirates. They're the drug traffickers.
Well, there's a reason. It's because like the people that they have allied themselves with at the time have beef with this guy. So it's kind of that. But like there is a tournament, and Luffy finds out that the prize at the end of the tournament is the flame fruit that used to belong to his brother Ace. After his brother Ace died, the flute respawned, and he kind of has like this impulse, like I have to win it because I can't allow anyone else to have Ace's fruit. That was my brother. That's his. So he enters into this tournament, but he's Straw Hat Luffy. He's known by the world government. He's a wanted man. So he goes in to this tournament under an alias. He doesn't go as Luffy. He goes in as Lucy. I know. Okay. So anyway, he goes in as Lucy, and he kind of fights for a while. Like there is several fights that he actually dominates in. But ultimately, it kind of comes to the big realization that Luffy has two brothers. Ace was one of them. Sabo was the other one. But Sabo was thought to be dead for a long time because he got in the path of a world noble. World noble didn't like it, so he blew him up. But it turns out Sabo actually survived, and he was raised by the Revolutionary Army who fights against world nobles. So Sabo actually shows up, and it's one of the most tearful moments in One Piece because it comes after Luffy has lost Ace, and now he feels like both of his brothers are gone, and it's the revelation that, no, I'm still here, Luffy. I didn't die. I survived. I was bedridden for years, but here I am. I'm back. And Luffy's like, oh my God, it's this huge tearful family reunion.
Does he die too?
Sabo, no.
Sabo is still
Sabo is a character that's still alive now, and his whole thing was, I came to this to the island where we're at, Dressrosa, to do things, but then I heard that Ace's flame fruit was here as a prize, and Luffy and him kind of discuss okay, well, if anyone should have it, it should be you, because he was our brother, so you don't have a fruit, you should eat, this one should be yours. So Luffy basically takes off the costume that he's been using to disguise himself, so that nobody would find out that it was Straw Hat Luffy, gives it to Sabo, and Sabo finishes the tournament under Luffy's alias, Lucy, and he takes the flame fruit and eats it, and now he's the new wielder.
Oh. But you meant it didn't end because it was some tragedy or some crazy thing happened.
No, it was just
it does end.
It finished off screen while Luffy was fighting Doflamingo.
No wonder nobody talks about this tournament arc from One Piece.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist. It's just it's not. Yeah. So yeah, okay. There is a tournament, and there's characters
either.
that are. Yeah, there's characters that are important in there, and it had stakes, but ultimately, our guys won off screen while our other guy was punching the dude.
Little undercooked steaks, got it, Chef.
Undercooked steaks, exactly. Not that it was bad. I mean,
no, it sounds fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I was like, the fights that were in it were interesting. It was kind of fun. We got to meet new characters, which ended up being important later. But the tournament wasn't the main point of being on this island. So
subplot.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a subplot. But with that being said, that's where we're going to wrap up today's episode. We've been recording for almost 2 hours.
As we do.
Yeah, I've been aching to get back into the recording booth to do more podcast episodes, and I kind of figured that we were going to have a lot of fun with this one, because who doesn't love a good tournament arc, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been streaming a lot, so that's what I've been up to.
I noticed. I'm one of your followers, so I get a ping every time you go live.
Bing.
Yeah, but so yeah, this is happening, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank the audience, because we recently hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. That doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, try to go outside and get 100 people to listen to you. It almost doesn't happen. So it's really exciting. So we're just we're vibing, man. This is a huge thing. I wish that there was a more reliable way to check out your analytics on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Maybe I just haven't figured out where to look. But YouTube is the one that I know intimately, so I can look and say this is how we're performing, and it's just really exciting to see that we have 100 followers now. Next up, 400,000. Yeah, let's go. Special. I just threw out a number, the first one that came to mind.
Gonna get the gold, the silver plaque, and then go straight to the million.
Yeah, they go straight to the million. We're gonna have a special giveaway at 400,000 viewers. Special giveaway will be a shirt that I made myself with an iron-on design. You know, like it'll be great. It's the one that I handed you before we did our panel that I said we were gonna wear and we just didn't.
Yeah, my wife's been wearing it every day to sleep, so it's going to good use.
Hey, there we go.
I haven't worn it once, but
there you have it, fans. So now you know that this special shirt is excellent for sleeping in.
oh, it's very comfortable apparently.
It's very comfortable, apparently. You should have seen the first draft. The first draft was nowhere near as comfortable.
I want to see it.
It's,
Send me pictures.
I was going to say, you know how it's an iron-on design, right? So it's an iron-on design, and it was the logo for the podcast. Well, the thing is, if you're ironing it on, it you know, it's kind of like you have to flip the image so that it's facing the right way when you iron. I didn't originally, so it just says the fatal phase, but backwards.
Oh. I want to...
And the logo was much, much bigger, and it was bad, dude. Like, trust me, I didn't transfer it on properly, so like the ink smeared. It was a nightmare. But I was like, you know, like I was like, Sacrow's not gonna notice, right? I was like, no, there's no way anybody doesn't notice that this is just so bad. I'm like, let's just try again. So yeah, it was a whole trip. But yeah, in case you haven't seen it, our panel at SAC Anime is now live on our YouTube channel. If you're a Spotify listener or an Apple Podcast listener, I highly recommend visit us on YouTube at the Battle Phase. You get to see what me and Sacrow look like. Or I'm sorry, not me and Sacrow, but Brock from Pokemon and Mashal look like, giving a panel on who we are, what we do, and how much fun it is.
It's a lot of fun.
We were cosplaying, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway.
Oh yeah, the cosplays are great.
Yeah, the cosplays were great.
The audience was great. They asked questions.
They asked questions, and it was a lot of fun. We got some laughs. It was great.
Also, I found out that apparently doing the last panel, which was available on Saturday nights, is the real one you want.
Well, you know what? That makes sense though, because then the meetups aren't going on anymore.
Meetups are done. The voice actors have already gone home. There's no vendors hall available anymore, so people want to stay and stick around for something. So they look to what else is on the. Yeah, so some girl doing an art thing, and she was just talking about how to sell things at conventions. And there's no way that many people are interested in that. But her room was filled because she was one of the only panels still going on besides the dance party next door.
Well, good to know. Now we know for next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time, I have been the Midnight Bard. These have been the boys.
Adios.
Adios!
Later, Battle Phasers. Deuce.